Nothing makes or breaks a great series like a well-written antagonist. Whether we like them because they have a sad backstory that is easy to relate to, or they're cold-hearted with no reason behind their actions, villains are easily one of the best components that make or break a show. Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra are no exception. Through the two shows, we see several different antagonists that are hated so much that they are loved by the fans. Today, we decided to take a look at the top 5 cold-hearted villains in the Avatar universe. Taking the number 5 spot is the bone-chilling, blood-bending Hama. Even avatars were terrified of the creator of the lethal blood-bending method, who began as a water tribe girl living in her small village. Captured alongside her tribe members, Hama devised a plan to flee by developing a new water-bending sub-art, a skill she refined with rats in the jail cell. She escaped from prison and became the villain to the innocent citizens of the Fire Nation after practicing and perfecting the powerful bending technique. She used bloodbending to hold innocent citizens hostage as retaliation for the Fire Nation's actions against her and her deceased brethren. Despite the fact that Hama was only featured briefly, her narrative was heartbreaking, demonstrating how pain can alter a person's personality and ideas. In the 4th spot, we have the leader of the Red Lotus, Zahir. Zahir reintroduces the airbending story, but in a new way. New airbenders like Zahir appeared as the world recovered from the tragedy weakened by the Fire Nation, as well as the events of the harmonic convergence. Zahir was a gifted airbender who had mastered the art of flying without the use of any supporting craft. Apart from his bending abilities, however, his ideals and character made him unlikable. Zahir favored anarchy, stating that the world was getting more bureaucratic and that ordinary people were suffering as a result of the ruling elite. His principles appeared acceptable at first glance, but a closer examination reveals that they just benefited him and his cohort. To demonstrate the depth of his commitment, he kidnapped and poisoned Korra in order for her to expose the Avatar state, which he would then destroy permanently. In terms of brutality, this deed elevates him above the majority of villains. He was also host to one of the first on-screen murders, showing his creation of airbending asphyxiation. The villain taking the 3rd spot, Azula, Fire Lord Ozai's daughter and Prince Zuko's sister, is one of the most well-written villains in the Avatar franchise. She had a natural ability to bend her blue-colored flames from an early age. Because bluer flames are hotter than red flames, Azula's exceptional ability to bend fire already indicated her indisputable skill as a firebender. Azula was always a bother to Zuko, picking on him and manipulating him for most of their life. For Aang, on the other hand, she was an omen of doom. After relentlessly pursuing Aang through the Earth Kingdom, she hit him with lightning while he was in the Avatar state, nearly killing the Avatar and demonstrating her cold-heartedness. Still, it wasn't until the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender that we learned how truly ruthless Azula can be, when she attempted to paralyze Katara with lightning. Azula was perhaps a greater menace to the Avatar group than the Fire Lord, and the show's repeated clashes with this madman at its center made it a fan favorite. The antagonist taking the 2nd position on our list is the Dark Avatar himself, Unalak. Through Unalak, The Legend of Korra showed viewers what a dark avatar looked like. Individuals who believe their wicked activities are righteous, with solid and unwavering conviction, are one of the most deadly types of villains. One such villain is Unalak. Unalak appears to be a level-headed and strategic leader from the start, as Korra's rational uncle. During harmonic convergence, however, the vicious villain slowly gives way to the wicked enemy with the objective of restoring Vaatu, Rava's arch-enemy. But, in order to achieve his purpose, he required Korra's help, so he tried to persuade the young Avatar to do his bidding. Despite the fact that his scheme did not go as planned, he was able to achieve his goal by uniting with the dark demon Vaatu. And finally, our number 1 spot goes to the Equalist, Amon. Amon, arguably The Legend of Korra's best villain, was a nightmare for the youthful Avatar. Amon was the leader of the Equalist faction, whose purpose was to eradicate bending by the use of his ostensibly spiritually granted power, which just turned out to be his high-level bloodbending. His views and mannerisms were most likely influenced by his father's repressive and abusive treatment of Tarlok, his younger brother. It convinced him that bending was a skill that shouldn't exist, so he set out to eliminate it. Amon was unpredictable, astute, and always one step ahead of Korra and the Republic City officials. Similarly, his elimination of Korra's bending, which threw the character into despair, was one of his best moves as a villain. He left Republic City, and the fans of this show, amazed and terrified at the level of skill he possessed. Well, that's it. Today we counted down the top 5 most cold-hearted and interesting villains brought to us by the Avatar series. Do you agree with this list? Or were there other villains that came to mind? Let us know in the comments below. And until next time, stay flamin'!